And you write very warmly about your relationship with former Vice President Kamala Harris and her husband, Doug Emhoff. Now, she also wrote a book, 107 Days, that I read, and I understand you have not read it.
No.
But in her book, she alludes to a much more fractured relationship between the Bidens and the Emhoffs. She writes that your family asked if she and Doug were loyal to your family. And she wrote that her husband, Doug, said they hide you away for 4 years, give you impossible bleep jobs, don't correct record when those tasks are mischaracterized, never fight back when you're attacked, never praise your accomplishments. And then, he added, and still, they have to ask if we're loyal. How do you respond to that?
I never saw that. I never felt that way with Kamala and Doug. I thought we were a great team. Joe.
You look shocked.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know. We were a team, and that July 4th that we were together, it was like we were saying to America, hey, we are the team. You know, it is Joe and Kamala. We are together. And so I feel, Joe chose her. And for Doug to feel that way, I really am surprised. I love, when you read my book, I talk about Doug. I love that he went into teaching. We talk about it all the time. We traveled together. We had so many laughs together. And so that kind of surprises me.
On Vice President Harris, do you think that she could have won if she had had more time in the race?
I thought she was going to win. I mean, I went out there and I campaigned for her.
Line may have made it too big of a task.
No, she was up to the job. Otherwise, why would Joe give her, say, here, Kamala? I mean, she was up to it. Otherwise, why would she run for president if she didn't feel she was up? And the day after, I went to bed assuming she would win. The day after, I'm downstairs, I taught, so I'm there early, I'm feeding Willow, and my phone rings like 5, 6 in the morning. Did you see the results? And just at that moment, I knew. And I ran into the bedroom and I woke Joe up and I'm like, Joe, why didn't you tell me this? Why didn't you wake me up? And he said, yes, she lost. And I was shocked. I saw the enthusiasm.
Lost when Joe Biden won.
Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly.
But so you worked in the East Wing of the White House, which has since been demolished to make way for a new $1 billion, now I think it's $1.5 billion ballroom. So as somebody who knows the building, you've lived in that space, what are your actual feelings? Like, what are you feeling personally and an American, as somebody who...
Because isn't that the First Lady's office?
That is the First Lady's office space, and
that says a lot about him, don't it?
But it's also where we walked in for the Christmas parties.
I love the East Wing. I mean, that's where I worked every day, and it's where Americans walk, or anybody walks in. That's the entrance. And you walk in and you feel this excitement. You're with your family. You're taking pictures.
Beautiful.
You walk down the hallway, and I hung art from military families to say, hey, military families are so important to our administration as a military family ourselves. Then I took all the old pictures of the older men presidents and that were hanging there for 50 years or whatever. The tour became interactive. I'm a teacher, and we learned through all of our senses, so you could feel the marble. You could hear FDR's voice.
Yes.
Put that phone down and interact with what's in the White House.